Hello and welcome to part 5 now of the Junk Journal Challenge No New November. Today we're going to be doing the cover finally. I'm going to take you through the practical way of making the cover. The decoration will happen later on to a certain extent. So in order to do this today, I have cut up a pillowcase. I have cut up one big side of the pillowcase, which we'll use to cover the card. I have also cut out strips ready for when we do the tie later on in the week. I've literally just ripped these into shreds, into long shreds, and then I've also chopped up what I had, like the odds and ends bits, into little pieces, which I will use in my clusters, I think, which is on the last day. So that's what I've got there. Also for this, you're going to need some cereal boxes or some form of card. Now I'm using cereal boxes. The cereal boxes are slightly more flimsy, so I've doubled up on everything that I need. I have also chopped them down already. So in order for this film, I'm going to put all the flat bits away because we're not going to use those. But I will keep the two sides, or sorry, the four sides for the both of them. I will use all four of these for the spine, and then you'll also need some for the front and back cover. Now the reason I've gone for 4 is because this is just a little is too narrow for my pages, so I can't fold it in half. If you look at this, if you can see it, there's still what, a good inch there of non-covered just going up to the edge of the pages. So this, I needed 4 in order to cut them out this way. The other thing you'll need is 2 pieces of scrap paper. I've got this. This was from the same set I mentioned where I was looking for the honeycomb the other day. This came from the same set. I quite like the set. I think this would be nice on the inside cover. I will eventually be putting some pockets on the inside cover with things we do later on in the week, so I won't be sticking this down yet, but I will have them in place ready for it. So anyway, let's get straight to it. So I'm gonna pop these aside and just work on one at a time. So this is actually the perfect size for the inside of the book, because this is the size of my page. This is an A5 already, so I'm going to use this as a bracket. What I will want is I will want to have around this, probably I give myself a centimetre around the outside, just so you've got, if you have tags and page tags and things and edges, it's not completely falling out. They'll just be peeking around the edges. It really protects the edges of the pages if you make it just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to get my big ruler. I'm going to draw straight down one side. And because I'm going to use this one as a guide, I will cut all of them to the same size as this card. I actually am not going to measure. Actually, no, I'll measure for you guys. So I'm doing an A5. So this works out, apologies, this is in centimetres. If you guys are abroad, you'll have to convert it into inches. But this works out at 15 centimetres wide, so I'm going to want to bring it out to half a set. So I've got half a centimetre each side, so we want 16 this way width. Apologies, I meant half a centimetre, not a full centimetre. That would be quite wide. So we'll bring that out here and do a line down here. And then we are 21, so we want 22. So let's centre that along here. So we're looking at okay. So I'm marking this. So if your papers that you are using for this project are A5, your biggest paper is A5, you're going to want to do this by 16 by 22 centimetres. If you're doing it legal, you are, I think that's what they use elsewhere, legal size paper, it will be, the measurements will be slightly different, but you will want to use about a centimetre in total extra from your papers. So if your papers measure, let's try and work it out for you. So a centimetre works out at just about 3/4 of an inch. Sorry, no, 3/8 of an inch, even 3/8 of an inch. So if yours is whatever your measure, you'll add 3/8 of an inch or a centimetre, depending on where you are. I think that's right. Just going by this. Yeah, 3/8 of an inch definitely is a centimetre, yes. Right, so now I've got this cut out, or not cut out, sorry, marked out, I'm going to take my paper scissors. Now this is very important if you do have, if you are working with paper and fabric, try not to cut any paper or card with your fabric scissors. It just blunts them really quickly, and if you know what these things cost, they're expensive. So I make sure I very nearly made the boo-boo earlier when I was cutting out the cardboard. And I was like, no. I got as far as getting it to about here, and then I went, wait, what am I doing? So you want to cut this down to this line. I'm going to cut out straight, try to make it as straight as possible. So I've been seeing what some of you have been doing. They're looking really great, what you've been doing. It's quite nice to have a little stash of things growing. And like I said, you might not use all of it for your final project, your final journal, but it's nice to have some things in pre-done already. Apologies, I think my husband might have knocked over the chair in the kitchen. But yes, no, it's really lovely to see what everybody's doing. Definitely getting some ideas for myself, which is great. It's nice to see as well that other people are following along and doing what I'm doing, but also there are some people doing their own thing. Right, I am going to pause this video, otherwise it will be really long today, and I'm going to cut it out in the other ones, and then I'll come back. Welcome back to the next part. So I have got all 4 pieces here for us. If you want, you could do it with an extra 2 to make it a bit more sturdy. I haven't got any extra cardboard from my cereal packets. Unfortunately, my hubby threw away the extra ones which I was saving, so I'm going to have to make do with two wide rather than 3, but that's fine. It's kind of all dependent on yourselves. So the next thing we're going to do is do the spine. Now I will use all 4 pieces for this because this is where all the weight will be held of the pages, so we want to make sure that this is extra sturdy. So how we work out our width of our spine is, first we're going to take this because we want it to be the same height as this, so I'm going to mark a couple of lines here. Now this is the side which has got the extra card where it's doubled up, so I will go along the side of this. I won't be using this because I want it to be even. So this is the length, so we know that that is going to be 22 centimeters in length. Now the width of a spine depends on how much you want to how many signatures you're doing really, and how big and bulky you want your planner. I'm just going to go get one of mine so I can show you what I mean. Hi Al, I'm back again. Sorry about that. I had a minor panic because I couldn't find it. So this is one I've made a little while ago. Now this is a 3 signature A5 again book. Sorry, journal. I keep calling them books. And I only gave this, I think it was 3 centimeters. Yeah, I only gave this a 3 centimeter spine, which means it's very crocodile mouth. I don't mind that, but I've got a feeling with this one we're going to have a lot of pieces inside, so I'm going to want to make it a little bit wider. So this time I'm going to give myself an extra centimetre either side and do a 5 centimetre spine. I'm still only planning on doing 3 signatures, but I think that will give me plenty of space to work with. So I need to measure 5 centimeters. I'm going to use this as a guideline here because it's already a straight line, and go from there, out from there. I'm pretty much more or less right, but go. It'd be interesting to know what your plans are for how many signatures you want to do. You don't have to even do this. You can do a single signature journal, which would look fab. I'm thinking because I'm doing this the whole month, perhaps if you're not doing the whole month and joining in, you might want to do a single signature for the whole month. But it really depends on what your plans are. If you want to do a 5 signature journal or even more, I'd consider doing 5 plus 1 centimetre each side, so 2 centimetres. So I'm doing 3 signatures, so I'm doing 5 centimetres. If you're doing 5 signatures, you're doing 7 centimetres. That's probably the best way to work it out. I'm going to cut out 4 of these now because I want this to be extra secure when adding my signatures in. You don't want it to be too thick though that you can't get your awl through it or needle, otherwise it'll be quite difficult. So the total measurements for this will be what did I say, was it 22 centimeters? Let's just double check what I said. Yeah, 22 centimeters by 5 centimeters for this, and you want 4 of them, just like you want 4 of the covers for this. So let's do this. Now this one is a bit tricky. Have I got pennies? I'm going to look at some of my other pieces. Scraps. Nope. So because this is going to be 5 centimeters, it's going to be wider than this because of this extra piece. I'm going to try and very carefully separate these as best I can. I'm not too worried about it, but I just want to take off the bulk so it's more or less will sit flat. Won't happen on the other one for this because this is just where the fold was, and the glue on there. I think that may be enough. So yeah, we can just about make it if I use the bomb here. So I'm going to draw around the one I've cut. So today I am burning the Peony, I think is how you pronounce it, Peony Yankee candle. Smells amazing, absolutely beautiful smell. I mean, to be fair, I don't buy ones I don't like, but it's very rare that I find a candle that I actually don't like the smell of. I'm pretty easy, I guess you can say, when it comes to smells. I like a lot of them, but you know, I really like that smell. I think my favourite so far is still the mango peach salsa. I think I burnt that on the first day of filming for this series. Oops, moved. Okay. Let's just quickly measure to make sure this is still about 5 centimetres. Will be when it's... Okay, now cut. So I'd be interested to know what everybody's favourite books are. Like I said yesterday, I was telling you about my favourite authors. I'd be interesting to know, particularly if you like fantasy and young children's books, or sorry, young adult books. That's the one. Young adult books, or fantasy, sci-fi, that kind of thing. I'd be really interested to know, because I'm always up for finding new good reads. So if you do, whatever you're reading right now, if you're a book lover, please do comment below what your current reads are, or what your favourite reads are. Trying to concentrate on, because I'm not the best at cutting straight, like I said in the last video. Gotta be careful when you're doing it, because you just playing with scissors, not fun. Well, it is fun, but right. I think this is the last cut. Fine. Yeah. Right, so we have 4 of these and 4 of these all cut out, ready. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to glue these together so that they're a bit more firm. Now, the glue of choice for this is going to be my Mod Podge. I want it to be relatively sturdy, and because it's on the inside, I don't mind. And it's a large surface, so we want to cover it as well as possible. For this, I've got... For gluing, I have got a sponge, which means I can do these in more or less 1 or 2 sweeps. So I want to make sure that the outer of the packaging is on the inside, and that we're only looking at, when you're looking at it from either side stacked up, we're only seeing the white of the inside of the box. So I'm going to start off with this one. get myself some Mod Podge out on my sponge. You can use a paper. I mean, this is just one I use for this anyway, because I do a lot of what's the word, decoupage, or I have done in the past a lot of decoupage, so I use these just because it's good for coverage, getting a large area all done. So that's the first one. Let's get that done, pop together. Yes, I use Mod Podge when I make my these. And this is what I'm thinking. One of the things I'm thinking of showing on the gift ideas for Christmas is I make a stack of 4 of these as coasters, and I decoupage on a napkin. So the napkin this is come from is this one, and I sew on. I glue on some felt onto the bottom of a tile. We Mod Podge and then seal it with a spray sealer. So I'm thinking about doing this, and you can decorate it up how you like. But I think it's quite a nice little gift idea for a set of 4 of these with a nice big red ribbon, particularly with this one. I've got a couple of them set down, and the really nice thing is you can use any old what's the word? Any old napkin for it. So that's that one. I'm not too worried that there's a little bit peeking out. It's not where it's basically where I've cut them slightly skew. If at the end of the day that won't matter. Again, so if you'll be interested in watching a demo on how to do those, I've been making notes for years. I first found them actually, a friend, when she got married, she made one for everyone as a gift at the wedding, and I remember helping her make them, and so I really enjoyed doing that. And then when I came to trying to think of ideas for presents one year, oops, I didn't mean to do that one. Yeah, when I came to do presents a few years later, I was just trying to think of things to make, and I was just like, oh, actually that's nice and easy, and I think it's a really lovely present actually. The other thing you can do, I haven't got an example of it here, but I will see if I can find one out if I end up doing it for a video, is you can stamp on them as well. I've got a couple of darker ones which I tiles which I don't use for Mod Podging on top, decoupaging on top of, because it's just too dark for you to see the pictures clearly. So I started experimenting on printing on them. You can use if you're using StazOn ink, you can stamp an image on them and they look just as effective. You do have to make sure that you seal them somehow, but yeah, no. So that's that. I'm going to leave that to the side to dry. I'm going to get some clips. You don't necessarily need to do what I'm about to do, but I like to do it just because I think it helps it out. So I'm just bulldog clipping either end. Okay. Pop that to the side to dry. Now I'm going to just quickly wipe my desk. I'm not the neatest of crafters when I get stuck in. I tend to pop things everywhere. It's looking quite another lovely day actually, autumn day outside. It's a little bit cloudy, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain. I'm going to go for a walk with my husband afterwards, after I finish filming, I think. Make the most of the time we've got. It's a shame that it's just a shame that we're in lockdown conditions and we can't go and meet other people. Otherwise it would be nice to see family, go for a walk with family. Just dry that off a bit. Right. So the same principle with this. I want to make sure that when I'm putting them down, I'm stacking them so that they are end on end. I know I'm doing 2 covers, so I'm going to do one like that and then one like this. So we will have 2 of these rather than all together. So first one, and this one I'm just going to dump. Oops, that was probably way too much. So I'm going to ink both of these up. No, not ink, glue both of these up even. Way too much glue on that. But it's okay because I'll use it for the doing both. Want to make sure you get a really good coverage. You don't want it too thick because it'll take forever to dry, but you do want a good coverage on it. So that's that one. Let's do this one. In fact, I'm going to pop some of that back in the bowl because I don't think I need all of that. Let's not waste glue, Emma. Sorry, you probably don't need to see me doing this. Trying to make the most of my supplies. Right. Use the rest. Oh. This one over to the side a bit. There you go. Nice coverage. Right. I'm going to cover this. Pop that on there, nice and easy and flat. And then on the other one as well. There we go. Right, I'm back again, sorry for that. So I have now got my centre and my 2 front, my spine, sorry, my front and back. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky on my workspace because I don't have massive workspace because of this, but the piece that I've got here is cut, let's measure this, about 49 centimetres by 31 centimetres, more or less. This is more than that is needed. When I cut, I was just really just making sure that I had enough space. When you're placing it on your fabric, what I do like to do first is I like to put these 2 pieces, these 3 pieces together, and I would like to give myself about ½ centimetre between these so you've got enough space to fold. Now I will put some washi tape or some masking tape, something along those areas first before I put the fabric on, just to give them a bit of stability. You can use bookbinding fabric to do so. I'm not going to, I haven't got any, so this is the challenge about using what we have. So I'm going to find myself some pretty paper, washi tape, that I have in stock, because I want to keep this. I probably, when I cover my cover, you're going to see it underneath this. So I'm going to use this washi tape, this wide washi tape, which is one of the William Morris ones that I got from Washi Wednesday. So I'm going to line this up along this one of these lines here, so it's more or less straight, and give myself one of these cubes, which works out more or less ½ centimetre. Now if you look at this, you can actually see that this is a little bit too big actually, so I'm going to just trim that down, despite measuring it out earlier. That is better. So I'm going to give myself 1 centimetre either side, and then I'm just going to go straight down. Now, I'm not too worried about the outside having a pretty tape. I will just probably use plain old masking tape if I can find one in a minute for that job. That's about right. Let me just get myself masking tape. I've got some masking tape. Now this, I have to say, this is not the best one. It does like to rip. Bear me a second. See if I can use this one, or if no. So I was going to use this one, but I think this one's actually going to have to go in the bin because I can't actually. Can you see how it just rips? The glue's too strong. So normal masking tape will do the job. Right, the first bit of this one is dry, so I need to wait till it. Tell you how often I use my masking tape. This one too is dried out. Oi, don't caramba. Probably because I actually stored these in the window at one point, and I think I basically ended up ruining it. Yeah, this is probably okay. We're just, at the end of the day, just trying to I'm going to do it down this side, and then I'm going to bring it in down the side of this, because this is a bit taller. Then I'm going to burnish this down here, and then bring it over. There we go. I'm just going to trim off the edges. Now we need to repeat for the other side. So let's line it up there. Bring out the other piece. Line it up against there. Actually, I'm going to do the other side first because that's the inside. So up against there. Oop. Up against here. Nice washi tape. Now, if you're being clever, you can try and match it up, but I don't know if I can. I've cut it the right way to do that. No, it doesn't matter. You just want to try and make sure that it's all the way. You've got part of it covered. So once you've done that, just along there, just along here. Flat as it can be, and then I'm going to bring this around. Pop it on the tortoise, so the spine first, because that is where we want to focus on it being, and then butting it up against the spine inside there first. Rebanish it and go against the other side, the back cover or front cover, whichever it is. So you want to make sure that centre is nice and sturdy, and then flan finish the other. Right. There we go. So you should have more or less the frame of your book journal. So I'm just going to trim off the excess on this. Now the reason I'm trimming this off rather than bending it around, it doesn't matter, is because you're going to see the inside of this underneath potentially. So I just want to keep that. It's a really lovely pan. Right, now comes the exciting things. Where did I put my... I just had it. Where did I put my cover? I measured it. Where did I put it? Apologies. Oh, this is me. I tend to put things down. Aha. Here we go. So now, this is technically the outside, but I think it's perhaps a little bit too bright for the journal that I'm doing. So I'm actually going to use the underside as the right side. So this will be like this. Okay. Now you can see where this is slightly transparent. I don't massively matter there. I am going to want to put on this some form of spine. So let's see what I've got in my fabrics that I think would tone in with this that I could put down here. It's a bit too wide for me to put a lace, unless I did the two laces, one down the side and one down this side, which is entirely possible as well. But I've got a lot of fabric scraps that I do not need. So let's see what we've got in here. Anything. Although if I was doing my hang on, if I did it that way round, might use this. This is some silk. If I've got a piece which is big enough. Yes, that might not be big enough actually. That's all right. So we want it to be that wide. Oh, I think I can just about do that. Do I want to do that? Oh, this is hard because I really love the silk, but I just don't think it's gonna. Let's have a look. Let's just cut a piece of this silk. Fabric scissors. Where did you go? Sorry, you spend half your time waiting for me to find things. This is the problem. I just stack things on top of each other and then off camera. There you go. This is too wide really, but this is a beautiful, it's like a shot silk. So it's a red on one way, but it's an orange another way you look, which is really lovely. I would sew it down, in which case I will have to go, if I'm going to do this, I will go and sew it first to my got a bit of glitter on this piece, so I might have to cut off a piece in a minute. Let's pretend like this is right. I'm just going to quickly clip all of these down. What did I do with my clip? There's one. Just gives us an idea of where we're going with this. See if it works. I may end up getting in there and I think, oh no, it's awful. What am I doing? You don't have to even put a spine down, but I like to have something. So this is what it's going to look like so far. If I do that and then have, I think I'm going to need a bigger piece than this. So I'll have to see if I've got a bigger piece. Because I think it needs to be about that much, you see. I wasn't going to do the decorating now, but it kind of gives me an idea of where I'm going with my decorating anyway. So if I do that. Now I feel if I do this, I do need some lace to break up this harsh edge. So I'm going to do the decorating. Bear with me a second. Find my lace box. I want a wide-ish lace. Nope. Almost, I just don't think that's quite busy enough. I'm really picky, I'm really sorry. I'm telling you all of the things though, you're the reason why I'm rejecting them. I'll know it when I see it. That's it, that's what I like. So I will end up taking some of this and sewing this. Now I'm going to need 2 pieces, one for the back and one for the front. Now, because this, I need to see if I've got one which is wide enough for me to do this, otherwise I'm going to have to sew 2 pieces, so in which case I might just put one straight down the centre as well, although it will get covered up by the spines. Let's see if I've got a piece which is bigger. I will pause the video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and sew this to not the card, just to the fabric. And then I will come back. Actually no, I will show you what I'm going to do next actually before I do that. I'm going to cut my fabric down to the right size first. So what I want when I've got it on is, so you can practically almost see it right now, is my folding. I want 1 inch either over, so sorry I'm swapping over to inches, 2.5 centimetres either side of this, so that when I do it I've got a reasonable overlap, and then when I put my page over the front, over this, it will be right. Now actually, yeah, I'm probably going to use a bit of the silk as well as a pocket on the inside, and then that kind of ties it in nicely, but I will sort that out another day. Right, I'm going to go and cut this, make it the right size, and then I will also sew all of those pieces together so you can see, and then we'll get to putting it all together.